Hey, on today's episode, squat, leg press, and the exercise I like to use when I want to blow out my knees. Okay, stick around, we'll get to it. Hey, ordinary old guy here in the freezing garage gym today. Like I mentioned, part 3 might not live up to expectations like any trilogy, but you can always go back and watch the first one because that's always the best. I'm going to be doing my squat today as if you've never seen one before, but if you haven't, that's okay. I'm not the expert here. Feel free to peruse YouTube's vast array of providers to show you great squatting. I'm just here to entertain, share my experience, and hopefully to keep you going. Because here I am again, keeping at it, all right? 6 days a week in the garage gym, all right? So if you're not working out, if you're not trying, get out there, keep going, keep trying. If you start, doesn't matter, all right. So I'll be going over the squat. I'll be starting with that first, try to get things cranking here for you. And I'll be explaining why I might do my squat a little bit differently than maybe some people. And again, keep that focus on the butt, okay? Because this is the part 3 of the butt, and we want to make sure that's strong, toned, feeling good, looking nice and sexy for you, and keeping your pants on. All right? So let's get to that too. Time for some squats. Okay, so I'm just going to do a warm-up piece. I always start with just the bar. I do 12 of those. Certainly, I have my safeties in place. Always very important. I'm going to be doing what is, I guess you could call a box squat, but I don't have a box. So I'll be squatting on my bench, which brings me close to 90 degrees. I can't measure it while I'm doing the squat. It looks close enough. And I'm not competing. I'm just trying to keep my muscles from, deteriorating. So if you prefer a different way of doing your squats, totally fine. If you like going super low, it's totally fine. It's whatever works for you. This is what I do with my squats. Okay, also I have a dreaded pad on the bar. Oh no, right? And I've worked out in gyms in different times throughout my life. And of course also at times which I didn't work out for, really long times also. And there's a bit of a stigma around having a pad on a bar. And I will agree to that to some degree from the standpoint of, for me, when the pad's on the bar, you don't feel as firmly rooted and planted, and I think that's really important. I like to try to pull the bar down into my top half and really feel that and stay really strong and rigid, the core, all of that part. It really helps me focus better on pushing and squatting better, right? On the flip side of that, yeah, it bothers me. And I know, well, you keep doing it, whatever. Yeah, I know. I can keep doing it. And I guarantee every time I squat, I'm going to have bar marks on my back. I'm just not a fan. So it's my personal choice. And if I see somebody with a pad at a thing or using something or whatever, I don't care. You know what? If you're comfortable and you're working out and you're doing something for yourself, as long as you're safe and you're well, whatever. I don't care what you got going on, okay? So if you feel stigmatized, okay, no problem. Just leave it off then, all right? I don't care. I'm putting it on there. I don't want the marks on my back when I go to take a shower and I see them grinded into me. So, that may sound stupid, but that's what I'm going to do, all right? So I'm going to get on here. I'm going to demonstrate what I'm doing, how I go down. I take a fairly shoulder-wide, probably stance, point my toes a little bit slightly out, okay? Because I've heard that's better for gluteal activation. Again, we're working on the butt piece here, okay? So also what I do when I get under that bar and I'm trying to tighten out, deep breath, keep my chest out, tighten up my whole body, and I squeeze my glutes before engaging my work, because I also heard that helps make sure your hip aligns properly in case you're off a little bit. So when you start doing your squats, you're even. Don't know if that's true, but you can certainly, explore that and see if that works for you. I'm going to demonstrate my warm-up routine of what I do. I'm going to do 12. You can see the form of what I do. I'm not going to go through the whole entire workout of what I do. I'll tell you about it when I'm finished, okay? So here goes the demonstration that when I edit, I might not show all 12, okay? You just have to trust that I could actually squat the bar 12 times. Okay. So I get in, and I make sure I'm in a good position where I feel where I'm at, know where I'm at geographically. And then I get ready, and I put my chest out, take my deep breath, and then I'm going to squeeze my glutes before I start doing my squats. Okay, so again, try to focus on keeping my core tight, going down. I'm trying to press up, and here's the most important part for me when it comes to me doing these squats and why I'm doing this video, is trying to focus on using my glutes. Now, typically when you're squatting, you're pushing through the floor. You're pushing yourself up, and for most people, I think they say, you want to have a sort of even feel with your foot. You want to be up on the front or way on the back, right? So that's why some people will do it barefoot even, or have squatting shoes, which both of those do make you feel more solid. So those are some other comments I think for me to make on that. If anything pops up that I've forgotten about now, I'll try to edit that in a little later, okay? We're going to be moving on to the next exercise of leg press, where I put my feet, what's going on with that, in a second. Okay, there were a couple of other things that I do want to add. I made some little notes for myself. Okay, when I'm doing a squat, because it's a heavy exercise, I usually try to rest like 2 minutes. Okay, it's a little different than some of my other workouts. If I'm maybe starting off with a warm-up, maybe it's a little shorter. If I'm getting really heavy, then I might push it a little farther, 2.5, maybe 3. Okay, so just to share that. Also, as I mentioned, over 50, my knees, they really don't like me anymore. I wear compression leggings, I guess I'd just call them, and knee sleeves, okay, to help hold those things together so they don't explode. And another comment I wanted to make is, a belt. I don't wear a belt. And what I did here is this, is if you train without a belt, maybe it's depending on the exercise, but I know I always said, if you're not using a belt to squat, I guess you can start to implement and use a belt. But if you're wearing a belt and then you decide to not wear a belt anymore, that's maybe not so great an idea. Okay, so since I haven't worn one, that's just what I continue to do. I'm not having any issues. Okay, and my routine goes like this. I do my bar for 12. Today I'm doing 12 at 115. That's almost like a second warm-up. Then I do 10 at 160, 8 at 180, 6 at 200, 4 at 220, and then I'll throw in a 2 at 240. Okay, so you work with what fits for you. So imagine what are you talking about? Somebody out there could be saying, are you kidding? That's way too much. Someone else out there could be laughing at me. Okay, well, if you can't squat anything, start basic, off of your couch. Squat off of your couch. Try to shoot for certain numbers. Again, if your parts work and you're okay and you're relatively healthy and everything's safe for you to exercise and work out, then you don't need to have a bunch of stuff. You don't need to have the big rig. You don't have to do any of these things. You can be at the park. You could squat on a bench, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up. Do a thing. Put your arms out in front of you. You could have a 5-pound dumbbell. It doesn't matter, okay? So you get out there and you keep going after it. Stay focused on that, and we'll get on to the squats. No, leg press. Yeah, that's next. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm in the leg press. Now, a little quick note here. Leg press, you know what? I don't think you can carry the notion of whatever's on there to a different machine. I've certainly used a lot of different leg press machines. I guess if that's what you call it, a sled, I don't know. And you might be pressing a whole lot of weight on one, and then maybe not so much on another one. Who knows, maybe it's the bearings, whether it's been lubed. I think the angles are supposed to be similar, but I'm not sure. So, you know, I wouldn't get focused on that. And if you go in, again, it's about focusing on, hey, just, are you pushing yourself? Are you trying to do that? If you can, right? If not, then, you know, certainly don't. And whatnot, okay? It may look, I don't know if you can see, probably not, I hope not. I don't have a ton of weights, so I end up having to put a lot of small parts on there to do what I'm trying to do, okay? Also, form-wise, or let's get focused on the butt, okay? Leg press. There'll be a lot of people who say, you know, the leg press isn't really a heavy gluteus type exercise. And I would probably say, yeah, I think so. There's some sort of statements on where you make your foot placement on the press plate here, you know, and what your foot positioning is. So from what I've gathered from, again, all the actual maybe perhaps experts out there, is that for me, I try to go a little high. I keep my toes turned out a little bit, and I'm probably around shoulder. I think, you know, some people go a little narrower outside, whatever it may be. Again, there's other people who say, hey, if you position yourself this way on a leg press, it may help get your butt more engaged, right? Or how much of your hamstring you're really focusing on, or things like that. There's some people out there that are actually really good at, like, kind of saying you're working this part and that part, you know, very detailed. I'm just kind of showing you what I'm doing as an extra part to all the other exercises. And these are important, the squat and the leg press, because you can go heavy. And this is the counterbalance to doing a lot of, you know, side kicks and whatever type of things that, you know, activate your butt, or heck, just walking or hiking or climbing stairs, that give you a different feeling, okay? This is more about strengthening those muscles. So please don't criticize the form. It's not going to be good. I know the difference between doing it maybe better than not what I'm doing, and that's exactly why I'm doing it. I'm going to try to actually kind of keep my body kind of hunched forward in a way, and I'm going to let my knees come back so that they're, you know, making contact, if I can, with my head. So it's a little bit of a cheat because I'm forward. The reason I'm doing that, okay, is because I'm actually trying to, again, I'm trying to squeeze my butt. And what does that do? It's about your hip flexion. Yeah, that sounds good. That's what I'm trying to concentrate on. And I'm actually trying to concentrate on, like, you know, I guess maybe trying to straighten myself out, right, when I'm in here. So I'm kind of pushing weird against the back. I'm not just laid back and just pushing with just my legs, right? It's a little different. It's a little weird. So, you know, you play around with that. You know, even with, like, no weight, if you can use a leg press and just see if, you know, some of that different positioning, because again, I'm trying to keep the lower back to the pad, right? Which is hard sometimes when you're trying to do a press, because, you know, you get to a point, especially when you go really deep, it starts to pull you, start to round anyways. And that's actually started to cause me lower back issues. So that's why I changed that position as well, okay? So let me have a second here before I jump in here and try to show you what I'm doing. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and try to do 12 of these, okay, right now. Here we go. Again, starting up a little high. I wanna make sure my lower back's really against the pad. I have my toes slightly turned out, and I'm gonna take a deep breath, try to hold that space as I press out. Okay, here I go. Okay, so you saw me do my set of 12. I do a 12, 10, 8, 6, 4 routine. And as a benchmark for you, the weight I put on this machine, again, it does not correlate. 285, 295, 305, 315, 325. You could be doing 1,000 pounds. You could be doing 0. So, irregardless, right? That's just what I'm doing as a benchmark. For maybe some people go, you know, I wonder what's going on. What is this guy doing? And stuff like that. That's fine. Okay. If it's there for you to be inspired by, then that's great. You know, and if it's there for you to laugh and have some fun, great. I don't care about that either. All right. So again, I tried to show that variation. There's again some people out there. I can't remember who specifically I was watching that really kind of gave a little bit more detail on that. Again, I know there's some people who say, forget it. It doesn't matter. You don't get a ton of glute. Yeah, I agree. You don't. You know, it's not a butt specific tool to be used. But what I did, but again, it's a lot of butts. If you sit there and you try to do that, it helps. And seriously, look, the whole time I'm doing everything, I'm actually trying to focus on my butt. Okay, I'm pick up the weight, I gotta take it over to the machine, I gotta go put it back over here on my rig where I put it on the bar, and every time I'm bending and grabbing and holding the weight and carrying the weight, I am squeezing my cheeks. Okay? So if you think that's embarrassing, hey, there's some 50-year-old plus guy here squeezing his cheeks in the garage. Yeah, all right? You can do it anywhere. So don't be embarrassed, all right? Don't be embarrassed about working those, keeping your butt strong and safe, okay? Anyways, I will be showing my last exercise here, and I hope you hang in there for that. We'll see if it's helpful for you. All right, thank you. Okay, and this comes to the last actual exercise that's gonna be on here. The one that I like to use when I don't want to be able to walk anymore, and that's the hack squat for me. Okay, and again, different hack squat devices are going to function differently, whether or not you're getting in a Smith machine type unit to do some or whatever. Okay, it just certainly gives you the option to change your foot placement a lot more than perhaps on a squat, etc., etc. Is this a big butt exercise? No, I don't think so either. I think with this exercise, you know, actually where I'm at and the way I'm placing my feet is more focusing on the vastus medialis, I think it is, or just the medialis. I think I was thinking of the vastus lateralis. I don't know. You know what? Just go on YouTube and learn something. So that's what's going on, right? But I do use it again for I do try to focus on all this other stuff. I am feeling it much more here. And but regardless, when you get to that part where you get to that hip flexion piece, especially towards the end, then you can certainly squeeze with those glutes, right, to straighten your body out. And that's probably where I do that. And again, this would be the last exercise I would do across the board on all my leg exercises. I don't do this one very often, okay, but I'm just going to do it anyways, just to demonstrate a few whatevers. Who cares? I just put a couple little 10-pound plates on here. There's nothing extravagant. I got 20 pounds here, and I'm just gonna do like 10. All right. I do go all the way down on this one until I get to the stopper, and then I go back up. And then I will finalize with some words of wisdom. I don't know. I'll just keep talking to you. See you in a minute. No, wait. I'm not going anywhere. I have to do this exercise. Whew. Okay, here I go. Gonna do 10. There it is. 10 reps. of one of the most enjoyable exercises I do. No. Also, let me finish with this just in case. There's an honorable mention here. There's another exercise I used to do that I felt was really good for getting my butt. And that was a Bulgarian split squat. And I would do mine with a foot on the bench and the other foot somewhat out. And I would use a dumbbell to add weight. And I would do those. I did those for some time. But of course what happened is over time, a lot of high repetition is what really gets my knees angry. And with that Bulgarian split squat, you know, the amount of knee angle you kind of have to engage is it goes past that 90-degree mark. And so that just, I had to stop. It was more important for me to be able to focus on a bunch of other exercises I can still do without discomfort than to continue to push that one. But I would say that Bulgarian split squat is also a good one to give a try. And I'm not going to model it, so, you know, YouTube, Bulgarian split squat, there you go. Give someone else a like and subscribe to, and leave some comments and all that stuff, all right? So, unless I got some final words, which I might, I'm going to sign off here for now. Just want to add a final note here for the part 3 video of the butt. Thanks a lot for watching. If you have any kind of comments, please put some down below. And maybe things you want to see me do, or other things you'd like me to talk about, or sharing my experiences or my thoughts. As a quick recap on the butts section here. Seriously, it is a very hugely important piece of muscle that needs to be taken care of for your well-being. All right, so you don't slip and fall and things like that. The little exercises, the people I mentioned in the first video, they're really great. They really are. Do those. Do them all the time. And then do some of the other strength, more focused exercises as well, okay? And hopefully you'll get to see some results. Hopefully it'll take some time and you'll feel that muscle, that butt getting stronger and firmer and tighter and bigger if that's what you're shooting for, okay? All right, so again, thanks for watching the video, and catch you again in the future. Thank you.